Well, many thanks for joining us. This is QTV Midday News coming to you live from our studios along Caraba Avenue. Here are the main local news headlines. The people of Kantora and Tumana districts in URR have told President Barrow not to be distracted by his opponents and hailed the president for the developments in their areas. Pate Balde, a native of Basse who contested under the GDC ticket and lost the UDP's candidate for the chairmanship of Basse Area Council in 2017 local government election, has joined the National People's Party. Following the discovery of polio virus in the country, the Ministry of Health and partners on Monday announced the first round of a house-to-house vaccination campaign starting this weekend. The Medical Research Council unit in the Gambia on Tuesday published the findings of a public health survey on tobacco control in the Gambia. But for more on these and other stories coming up, I'm Ansmane Sonyasi. The people of Kantora and Tumana districts in the Upper River region have hailed the president for the developments in their areas in the last 4 years. They encourage the president not to be distracted by his opponents. Alusise reports.
Adama Barrow, the president and candidate of the NPP-led coalition, continued his dialogue with the people campaign tour on Monday with meetings at Koina in the Kantora district and Kulari village in the Tumana district, both in the Upper River region. People of Kantora made a huge turnout at Koina to welcome and interact with the president. It was also an opportunity for them to express gratitude to President Barrow for what they say are the massive developments in the area in the last 4 years of the Barrow administration. Key among them is the Basse-Fatoto-Koina road. For decades, traveling on this road was a nightmare for the people. They assured him of their backing on December 4th. The scene was similar at Kulari village in the Tumana district, where another large crowd accorded the president a rousing welcome. They thanked him for fulfilling one of his major 2016 campaign promises, which was to construct the Basse-Koina road and build the Basse and Patoto bridges.
Awa pesambaro harsa alla ripare Kantora yutunu onanka entu osukalla baro pesambaro NPP anon.
President Barrow la démocratie a nyoma soto.
December on the 4. December nato. Billahi wallahi tallahi. Akalita sinya saba. Tumanado. Tumanaga. Sanani vi. Angara TV. Ko vi baro nanta.
At both rallies, President Barrow renewed his call for national unity for the development of the country. He described the achievements registered under his regime as just the beginning of many to follow if he is re-elected. He urged the people to vote for the NPP for development and progress. He also promised more infrastructural developments to improve the lives and livelihood of the people. President Barrow is currently backed by more than 10 political parties and several independent candidates. Speaking Mandinka, Lamin Cham, NPP's national campaign manager, said the turnout and comments from the people shows they are indebted to the Barrow administration for transforming their lives.
North Bank kana Sierra North kana URR North definitely ndanga Adama Barrow a wintale and ngañu munje bata funding chole fananka sia ko ko baake anu funding chole form the majority in this country and nda jibe hande jam fa jibe funding chole farinja woto alliu gambian ko la yele ko Adama Barrow la fita walla anu Adama Barrow la modo bianga banko doku no wala ne be bulan Adama Barrow no and so far so ngamunje wallahi Adama Barrow is going to be with the landslide victory.
Village Tunkara, National Assembly member for Kantora constituency, gave an assurance that the people of Kantora are ready to keep President Barrow at State House.
Well, my message to the people is that we don't have any other party here to support other than NPP. It is the political party or it is the government that understands and support us infrastructurally. If you look at the roads linking from Basse to Koina here, it's a very big edifice. It's a very big infrastructure.
President Adama Barrow was elected in 2016, ending the 22-year rule of former President Yahya Jammeh. His supporters have hailed him for restoring democracy and the rule of law. They also say President Barrow has improved the infrastructure of the country. Reporting for QTV News from Basse in the Upper River region, I am Aliou Cisse.
And we'll still stay with Aliou and on politics because Pate Balde, a native of Basse, who contested under the GDC ticket and lost to UDPs for the Danjo for the chairmanship of the Basse Area Council at the 2017 local government election, has joined the National People's Party. He made the announcement on Monday at a rally in Kulari village, Tumana district. He spoke to QTV's Aliou Cisse, and here's an excerpt.
First and foremost, Pate, could you share with us the reason why you initially contested for the chairmanship of the Basse Area Council?
Thank you very much, Aliou. Initially, the reason why I contested for the position of Basse Area Council was very clear. I said it in my statement here before the president. And when I met him at his residence, when he invited me the other day or yesterday at Mankama, it was the same thing I told him. That the reason of me contesting for the position of Chairman Basse Area Council was to see to it that Basse region is being able to develop from the stage where it is to another stage. And I shared with my team and said, look, the only way we can be able to get this done is for one to contest at the local government elections. And then here is the way. The leader of the country is a citizen of Basse. And this is an opportunity, rare opportunity that we can have there, and we shouldn't let it go. So let me try to contest. Once I win, I'll try to work hand in gloves with the president, okay, to make sure that he gives us the support that we need to move this region forward. But unfortunately, it went the other way. But purposely, the reason why I contested was to make sure I contribute to the socio-economic development of the town. Because looking at Basse, being called the second capital, is the most dilapidated second capital in the sub-region. You can bear me witness, Ali.
And today you have announced joining the National People's Party. Why do you choose to join the National People's Party?
Looking at, I have the same, almost the ambition and the ambition and the aim and objective what I have for Basse is what I've been seeing the president doing in Basse. Because my desire, my intention was to move Basse from where it is to another level. And I've seen the president doing that, exactly. So why sit back and say, okay, I'm going to wait for somebody to come in? Do I know who the next president of this country will be? So he being the citizen of Basse, is the president. My intention was to develop Basse, and I've seen him developing Basse, moving it from one level to another. Of course, it's better I just join his party and give him the support he needs so that we get to the level where we want the region to be.
Gambians are heading to the polls on December 4 to elect the next president. What assurance are you giving to the president?
Well, my assurance is clear. As far as I'm concerned, me and the people behind me will certainly rally behind the president. I will make sure we cast our votes for them. And we'll continue campaigning for him in the region of URR to make sure he has a landslide victory that he is aiming for.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Balde.
My pleasure, Aliou.
Pate Balde, they are talking to QTV's Aliou Cisse. Now, following the discovery of polio virus type 2 in the country in August, the Ministry of Health and Partners on Monday announced the first round of a house-to-house vaccination campaign from the 20th to the 23rd of November 2021. William Kamara tells us more.
The vaccination campaign will target over 300,000 children aged under 5 across the country. The move came after 10 positive environmental samples were reported in the western region this year, prompting officials to initiate a quick response strategy. Sidat Fofana, program officer at the extended program on immunization, said the Ministry of Health plans to vaccinate 382,908 children. He added that the media is key in this campaign, just encouraging them to give out accurate information.
I know there are going to be rumors, so that's why we want to call you here to ensure that we are able to spread the information to every corner of this country, every household, the newspapers and all those things, the television, very important. They always say the media is the fifth empire, is it? Sixth empire, I don't know. So that makes it very, very important for this activity. Government is thankful to all the partners here, as I said.
According to Dr. Hayani Odeweze, incident manager at the World Health Organization, about 0.5% or 1 in every 200 infections lead to irreversible paralysis. And among those paralyzed, 5 to 10% die when their breathing muscles are involved or become powerless. Dr. Hayani emphasized that the virus has no cure but can be prevented through vaccination.
The information we got in African region revealed that about 70% of those paralyzed children, we have them in 2020, and about 500 this year in about 27 countries due to the polio virus infection. These cases were reported by countries and communities with low immunization rates because the virus is spread from one unvaccinated child to the other over a long period of time. Often over about 12 to 18 months.
Tohisko Takahashi, UNICEF's deputy representative, says polio disease put children at a greater disadvantage and getting them immunized will help.
Also, the polio puts children at a greater disadvantage for long time of life, socio-economically as well. So not only physical, but also socially a very challenging disease. And there is no cure, as WHO mentioned.
According to the Ministry of Health, the outbreak response activities will be conducted house to house, in schools, at ferry crossing points and markets, amongst other places. The WHO has helped in the training of 1,666 personnel as vaccinators, supervisors, and monitors for the nationwide coverage. Polio is a highly infectious disease caused by a virus that invades the central nervous system and can cause total paralysis. The virus is transmissible, and symptoms include fever, fatigue, headache, vomiting, stiffness of the neck, and pain in the limbs. Health workers are soliciting the cooperation of parents to achieve their goal. The second round of vaccination is scheduled to take place from the 21st to the 23rd January 2022. For QTV News, Lolly M. Camara.
And the report there by Lolly M. Camara will lead us to a short commercial break, but the news continues when we return.
Looking for the fastest and easiest way to receive money transfers from abroad? Well, QMoney and RIA just made it happen. Now you can receive international money transfer from RIA directly into your QMoney account with no additional cost. Once you receive an SMS alert about your transfer, walk into any QMoney agent across the country to receive your payment for free or use the money immediately to buy credit, QPower and other QMoney services. It's fast, safe and convenient. For more info, call customer care on 133. QMoney, Sinu Calpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back from a short commercial break. We reminded you're watching QTV Midday News, coming to you live from our studios along Kairaba Avenue. And I am Ansmane Sonyase. Now, in a stakeholder meeting on Monday, the Medical Research Council Unit, the Gambia, published the findings of a public health survey on tobacco control in the Gambia. Mohamed Lamin Choi reports.
This is a tobacco control stakeholder meeting for the publication of research findings on exposure to second-hand smoke in public places and barriers to the implementation of smoke-free regulations in the Gambia. The findings indicate that awareness of the regulations that prohibit public smoking is significantly higher among current smokers than in non-smokers, and that there is moderate public awareness on the regulations that prohibit public smoking. The population-based research shows that there is 5.2% prevalence of smoking in the Gambia, adding that significantly men comprised the greater percentage of smokers. In comparison, it further reveals that while among non-smokers there is a moderate level of awareness of the regulations that prohibit public smoking, 85% of active smokers are aware of the regulations. Professor Umberto D'Alessandros is the MRC Unit Director.
When I saw the burden of tobacco-related diseases, I thought that this was a good opportunity for the Gambia to start or expand what was there. And there are two things. One is that the MRC unit is going to further expand its work on non-communicable diseases.
The Public Health Survey also looked at the prevalence of exposure to second-hand cigarette smoke in the country, which found out that there is 63% prevalence of exposure to second-hand smoking outdoor, while indoors amounting to 52.8%. Also, The findings show that the level of exposure to passive smoking is higher among urban than rural residents, with men more exposed than women. Mamadou Gassama, the WHO focal person on tobacco control in the Gambia, stresses the challenge posed by tobacco control and the importance of research in bringing solutions.
Africa is losing $10.7 billion every year as a result of tobacco. So this is where we need science. Without the science, we will not be able to argue. So this is why this forum is so critical.
Despite sensitization campaigns and existing regulations on public smoking in the country, the Public Health Survey concludes that there remains gaps in tobacco control, particularly on the implementation of smoke-free laws. Modu Njai, the Director of Health Promotion and Education, believes that the research will help the ministry re-strategize tobacco control interventions.
To all of you, multi-sectoral or tobacco control committee members, thank you all, and I'm sure the findings of this research and other subsequent research in tobacco control will also be used to be implemented across the country to ensure that we fight to ensure tobacco control, the use is also less and less in this country.
The research was administered on over 4,000 respondents in 2020 and facilitated through a project called the Tobacco Control Capacity Program, a multi-country research consortium comprising several institutions in Africa, Asia, and the United Kingdom. The research, implemented by MRC Unity Gambia, is said to be the first study on exposure to passive smoking in public places among both adolescents and adults in the Gambia. Momo Lamin Choi, QTV News.
Now, the National Youth Council on Friday organized a national dialogue on peaceful campaigning and elections on the theme ensuring peaceful democratic process in the Gambia. Ajibintu Drame tells us more.
As the December 4th presidential election approaches, ensuring peace and social cohesion is important. The dialogue brought together politicians, youth leaders, youth inter-party committee, security personnel, amongst others, to discuss how to ensure a peaceful democratic process during the election period. Usman Fati, the chairman of the National Youth Council, urges youth to use their influence to promote peace during, before and after the election.
As young people, we must remember we have a greater future ahead of us, and posterity will never forgive us if we allow ourselves to be agents in plunging this country to chaos.
Bakari Waibaji, the Minister of Youth and Sport, says maintaining peace after the political exchanges is essential. He urges youths not to be influenced by tribalism at the expense of peace.
My advice to all of you and all of us is that before we get into the violence, let's do what we will likely end up after the violence, which is the dialogue. Violence subsequently affects the whole system, and consequently the livelihood of innocent citizens. Peace ensures that voters are allowed to exercise their constitutional and democratic rights to cast votes and elect their candidates of choice without fear or intimidation.
Youths play an integral part in electoral process. Increasing youth engagement and building youth capabilities are effective ways to push peaceful agendas. Usman Fall, a representative of Peace Ambassador the Gambia, and Fatoumata Kijara, representing Activista Gambia, share their thoughts on how to ensure peace during the electoral cycle.
Politics of ideas is what will develop this country, and not politics of sentiment. For that reason, in order to ensure peace, let's make sure that whatever discussions we are going to have on politics, let it be related to ideas and not sentiments. And if that is done, surely peace will be ensured in this country. With regards to in every sector that they are at, be it the security, be it political parties, for every one of them to know that us, the youths, really know the importance of peace towards national development, and we won't compromise the peace of this country for anything.
Peace is very expensive. When there is no peace in anywhere, there's nothing. So we need to be civilized in our elections. Like, this is our Gambia. This is Gambia for all. We need to be civilized in everything. The moment you have and you vote, that's the most important thing.
The Gambia has a youthful population and much is expected of them during this electoral cycle. Ajibintu Drame, QTV News.
Now, St. George's Upper and Senior Secondary School in Basse has launched an animal welfare club to raise awareness about improving animal welfare in our communities. The Animal Welfare Advocates Association, the Gambia, graced the event on Friday. Fode Mane was at the event and here now reports.
The Animal Welfare Club is committed to making our communities better places for animals by educating and engaging in issues related to the welfare of all kinds of animals. According to Animal Welfare Advocates Association, who are planning to introduce animal welfare clubs across all schools in the country, St. George's is the third nationwide and the first in URR. Mr. Daniel Sambu, the principal of the school, reminded his students of the task ahead to ensure the rights of animals are respected.
The whole group gathered here today, we all came from different families, we came from different communities. And within our families and within the communities, we have animals that we interact with. But looking at the way we take care of these animals that we have within our families or within our communities is not welcoming. And these are animals again that we normally use on daily basis, and their efforts always plow back to us as human beings.
Yahya Kamara, the Secretary General of the Animal Welfare Advocates Association, told us about their plans to introduce policies to promote animal welfare.
Plans has been going on and to make sure that there are policies that will protect the animals from violations and other abuses in this country. Even our former executives actually they try very, very well to make sure that through our coordinator, or we call it advisor, Dr. Keba Dafe, I thank you very much for that effort. Because to make sure that there's a paper that is presented to National Assembly to make sure that there is a part in the Constitution of the Gambia that will protect the animal from violations and other forms of abuses. So plans are intensified, and they will make sure that those plans are realized at the end of the day.
Mamadou Doumbia, the president of the Animal Welfare Advocates Association, has this to say.
Yes, we are doing great role to end road accident involving animals. As of now, we just prepare a project proposal and it is presented for approval. As of now, and it involves training of drivers, training of police, and who are the stakeholders in this issue of road accident. So animal involving accident is very common in the Gambia. So we are going to be training drivers.
Asetu M. Kande and Umar S. Jao are members of the St. George's Animal Welfare Club.
By sensitizing the public about the importance of these animals, so that they will stop maltreating the animals, and the people that are not maltreating them, that are taking good care of them, let them double up their efforts and take good care of them.
For our school, we are really trying. Sometimes we meet with people outside, stoning donkeys, horses, and dogs, pigs. Exactly, we do call them. My brother, my sister, see, these animals should not be maltreated because they are as important as we are.
Animal welfare is important because they are, among other things, our companions, our workers, our eyes and ears, and our food. Around the world, there are many animals suffering from being used for entertainment, medicine, fashion, scientific experiments, and as exotic pets. The Animal Welfare Advocates Association are hoping that more schools in the country will form clubs to advocate for the well-being of animals. Reporting for QTV News, I am Fode Mane.
And I'm afraid that is all about it for this bulletin. But before we take a leave of you, here's a recap for main headlines. The people of Kantora and Tumana districts in URR have told President Barrow not to be distracted by his opponents and hailed the president for the developments in their areas. Pate Balde, a native of Basse who contested under the GDC ticket and lost to UDP's candidate for the chairmanship of the Basse Area Council in 2017 local government election, has joined the National People's Party. Following the discovery of polio virus in the country, the Ministry of Health and Partners on Monday announced the first round of a house-to-house vaccination campaign starting this weekend. And the Medical Research Council unit in the Gambia on Tuesday published the findings of a public health survey on tobacco control in the Gambia. But that is all we have for you in this bulletin. Do join us in the evening for more news. Until then, on behalf of the entire production team, thanks for watching.